Hello guys, my name is Philip, and since I started doing NoFap, there's actually been 2 times so far that like this sort of webcam horse on Twitter has been liking some of my tweets or following me or done something to to give me a notification. It's been on Twitter, it's also been on Instagram, and actually a little bit on Facebook too. It's this sort of webcam horse who have on their Twitter profile, they just have a bunch of naked pictures of themselves and they're like, come to my webcam show, this and that, link. And it's happened twice on Twitter, it's happened like twice on Instagram too. And so the second time it happened on Twitter was actually quite recently, and it took me back to when I used to masturbate to pornography. The reason for that is the way like the things she wrote on the sort of descriptions of her tweets, like the picture descriptions, I guess you could call them. She wrote like, what do you want me to wear for tonight's webcam show, losers? And she used the word losers a lot. She used the word like perverts, things like that. And it took me back to when I used to watch. Now this was never my big fetish, so I didn't really watch a lot of it. But like this sort of solo masturbation videos of women, the way they talk to you, something about that I haven't really thought of before now, but they keep like going like, yeah, you like that, you fucking loser, you fucking pervert. And you know, they say that all the time, and it sort of does something to you, doesn't it, when you watch this the whole time, and and these women are just fingering themselves going, yeah, you're such a fucking pervert, you fucking loser, you fucking slob, oh yeah, you like that, you like my clit. And then this big alpha male comes with his big cock and penetrates her, right? It does something to your confidence, it does something to your self-esteem, because it makes you into a sort of puppy with the ears behind your head and the tail between your legs going, ooh. You know? It's sort of, that's the sort of thing that happens. And you're just going, ooh. Ooh. And you're not a man anymore, you're a fucking beta male at that point. You're submissive, you're submitting yourself to the female body. You're not even submitting yourself to her personality or her soul, whatever you want to call it. You're just really submitting yourself, surrendering to the female body. You are worshipping something that's really just aesthetics, really. That's all it is, because it's just a screen, right? It's just, all you can see is her body. You don't know who she is, you don't know how she is in person, you don't know anything about that, but you're still sort of worshipping her in a kind of submissive way. And the way that these porn actresses are talking to the camera is just terrible. It's terrible for her confidence, and you know, it's making men into beta males. That's really the message of this whole video. Pornography is making men into beta males. It's poison to your masculinity. And you know, it's just turning men into pussies, and I think that's a lot of the sort of frustration that we see around women these days as well. This sort of third wave radical feminism, this thing's happening, where you just see that there's a general frustration with women these days. You just see that, you know, it doesn't have to be feminism, it doesn't have to be any of these political things, you can just see it. There's a sort of frustration happening. And I think that comes from the fact that, you know, there's fewer and fewer good guys out there. And I have to admit to myself, like, as a man, I have to admit that, man, men are just failing. Since the sort of pornography era started, men have just been less motivated, less ambitious, less less handsome, just less good, really, because we don't have a realistic way to look at women. We don't have a realistic view on sex. It's just become this sort of weird, twisted, bizarre kind of submitting to the wholly female body that is really just on a screen, sort of weird thing that it shouldn't be that way. We are supposed to be, you know, the masculine energy. We are the penetrators. We are the energy, right? And yeah, porn is just destroying that, and it's making women frustrated. It's making men into pussies, and it's just it's pulling the genders apart, and it's making us disconnected, and it's making us fearful of each other, really. It's making us fearful, because as well as this sort of female frustration that I described, there's also a sort of fear, isn't it, in there? This sort of, because I mean, there's so many women that actually believe in this rape culture. They actually truthfully believe that men just want to rape women. I mean, I'm not making this up. And there's kind of a reason for this. It's because we're so disconnected. And I think the less we communicate with each other, the less we connect to each other, the more we just sort of get fearful for each other, because we don't know what to expect from each other. Because we never talk to each other. We never open up our emotions. We don't never... you know, we never talk, so women are getting all these sort of delusional thoughts that, oh, he might be a rapist, he might be dangerous, because, you know, they've never talked to any guy, because no man has ever had the balls to talk to her, probably. And then men are all like, ah, she's probably just gonna judge me, she's probably gonna think I'm a pussy or some kind of weirdo if I go to talk to her. I can't do this, it's too much, you know. And, you know, both genders just have this sort of fearful attitude towards each other. Women think that men are rapists, and then men are just too intimidated by female beauty to even have the balls to talk to them. And it's pulling us apart, and I think it's much because of pornography. So, you know, and I'm again in this video, I'm sort of exaggerating the whole problem, but there is a problem. And I'm not making this up. I think this is... I think I'm right about this. I think this is actually a lot because of pornography. This whole sort of fear that's happening between the genders. And so, no. Pornography, man, it's making you into a beta male, and it's destroying your masculinity, and it's also sort of ruining women's view on men, and it's a terrible thing. So that's really the whole message of this video. I hope you guys liked it, and see you in the next one.